Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to share a story that's been on my mind, a story about adventure, survival, and the wild heart of the untamed world. This is the story of Owen. Owen wasn't your typical tourist. He was a traveler, someone who craved the raw, unfiltered beauty of nature. For him, the real world began where the paved roads ended. His journey started with a simple dream: to cross the vast, untouched wilderness of the Northern Territories, a land said to be ruled by giants of fur and claw. He wasn't alone. With him were Liam, the seasoned navigator with a map for every terrain, and Maya, the sharp-eyed tracker who could read the forest like a book. Together, they were a tight-knit crew, bound by a shared passion for exploration. The first few weeks were pure bliss. They paddled across crystal-clear lakes that mirrored the sky, hiked through ancient forests where sunlight dappled the mossy ground, and at night they'd sit by the fire, sharing stories under a blanket of a billion stars. It was a paradise, a perfect escape from the noise of modern life. Owen felt a deep sense of joy, a feeling of being truly alive and connected to the world around him. He thought this feeling would last forever. But the wilderness is a fickle host. It gives, but it also takes. The first sign of trouble came subtly. A snapped twig where none should be, a lingering scent on the wind, the eerie silence that fell over the forest. One evening, as dusk painted the sky in shades of orange and purple, it happened. A massive grizzly bear, larger than anything they had ever imagined, crashed through the trees and into their camp. Chaos erupted. In the frantic scramble, Owen felt a searing pain rip through his leg. He looked down to see the deep gash, the result of a desperate stumble over a sharp rock. The bear, startled by their screams and the flaring fire, eventually retreated back into the shadows, but the damage was done. Owen was badly injured, miles from any help. The pain was immense, a constant, throbbing reminder of their vulnerability. As Owen lay in the tent, feverish and weak, doubt began to creep in. The idyllic journey had turned into a grim fight for survival. Every rustle of leaves, every distant howl, sent a shiver of fear down their spines. The wilderness no longer felt like a welcoming friend. It felt like a predator, watching and waiting. Liam and Maya did their best to care for him, rationing their dwindling medical supplies and keeping watch through the long, dark nights. Owen saw the worry etched on their faces, the exhaustion in their eyes. He felt a wave of guilt. Was it his dream, his ambition, that had led them into this nightmare? The physical pain was one thing, but the mental anguish, the fear of what lay ahead, was a heavier burden to bear. Days turned into a week. Owen's leg was healing, but slowly. Their food supplies were running dangerously low. The easy camaraderie they once shared was replaced by a tense silence, thick with unspoken fears. It was during a scouting mission for food that the first crack in their friendship appeared. Maya, usually so calm and resourceful, returned to camp empty-handed and agitated. She and Liam had argued. Liam wanted to push forward, to stick to the original plan, convinced they could outpace their troubles. Maya, however, wanted to turn back to find the nearest ranger station, arguing that Owen's injury made continuing a foolish risk. The disagreement festered, poisoning the air between them. Owen, caught in the middle, felt helpless. He tried to mediate, to remind them they were a team, but the trust that had once been their bedrock was starting to crumble. That night, Owen overheard them arguing in hushed, angry whispers. Liam accused Maya of losing her nerve, of giving up. Maya accused Liam of being reckless, of putting his pride before their safety. The words were sharp, cutting deep into the quiet of the night. It was a betrayal of a different kind, not of loyalty, but of faith in each other. The bond they had forged through shared sunrises and campfire stories was unraveling under the strain of survival. Owen realized with a sinking heart that the bears and the wolves weren't the only dangers out here. Sometimes The most dangerous predators are the doubts and fears we carry within ourselves. The next morning, the tension was unbearable. Liam announced he was going ahead to scout a new path, a shortcut he'd found on the map. He promised to be back by nightfall. Maya pleaded with him not to go alone, but he was stubborn, his jaw set. He packed a small bag and left without another word. As the sun began to set, casting long, menacing shadows through the trees, there was still no sign of Liam. Panic began to set in. Maya, her face pale with worry, paced back and forth. Owen, despite his still painful leg, knew they couldn't just wait. They had to go after him. Gritting his teeth against the pain, Owen got to his feet. He and Maya packed what little they had left and set off, following the faint tracks Liam had left behind. The forest felt different now, more sinister. Every shadow seemed to hide a threat. Every sound made them jump. They called his name until their voices were hoarse, but the only answer was the mocking echo of the woods. Hours passed. The moon rose, casting a ghostly light over the landscape. They were exhausted, scared, and on the verge of giving up hope. Just as despair was about to consume them, Maya stopped. She pointed to a series of deep tracks in the mud, much larger than a human's, and next to them, scuffed and half-buried, was Liam's compass. Their hearts pounded in their chests. The tracks led towards a narrow canyon, a dark, foreboding slit in the earth. A low growl echoed from within its depths, a sound that made the hair on their arms stand on end. They knew, with a chilling certainty, that Liam was in there, and he wasn't alone. They had a choice to make: retreat to safety or walk into the heart of danger to save their friend, the very friend who had abandoned them. Looking at each other, they saw the same answer in each other's eyes. They were a team. Betrayal or not, they didn't leave anyone behind. Taking a deep breath, they gripped their makeshift weapons. A sturdy branch for Owen, a hunting knife for Maya, and stepped into the darkness of the canyon. The air grew cold, thick with the scent of damp earth and something else, something wild and dangerous. The suspense was suffocating. They didn't know what they would find, but they knew this was it. This was the final test. Either they would walk out together, or the wilderness would claim them all. What happened next in that canyon is a story of courage against impossible odds, a testament to the strength of the human spirit when pushed to its absolute limit. It's a reminder that even when we are broken, betrayed, and terrified, the bonds we forge can pull us back from the brink. The journey of Owen, Liam, and Maya teaches us that the greatest adventures aren't just about the places you see, but about the challenges you overcome and the people you become along the way. Thank you so much for listening to their story. If you found it inspiring, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more tales from the edge of the world. Stay adventurous, and I'll see you in the next one.